Okay, guys, hello. My name is Igor, and today we are on the webinar with Alex. Alex, hello. You're here. 1 second.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, hello. So, yeah, guys, welcome everyone. Please write to the chat like where you came from, what you're doing. We are really interested in that. Today, like we're streaming on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter. So, like, hi, all the Twitter, not Twitter, X. Guys, hello. So today we are making a webinar about web funnels for mostly mobile applications. And we have a special guest here, Alex. Alex did a really great collection of web funnels. And today we will cover how these funnels should be built to convert more users. We are not talking today about like why. Yeah, Alex, are you here? All these technologies, always struggling with them. Okay, guys, so while Alex is fixing his connection, I will little bit introduce myself. My name is Igor. I am the founder of Web2Wave. We are building #1 platform for building Web2App funnels or Web2Web, whatever you call it. Yeah, okay, let's wait. Okay, Alex, one more time.
Yes, guys, that should work.
Yes, now it's
Usually
working.
we
Yeah,
have problems, but that's the good thing about live, I guess.
yes.
That should
I
succeed. That
always I always say that like a mistake and or an error is good because after that you just becoming better. So yeah, I already introduced myself. Please tell a little bit about yourself, if.
it's a library and search engine of 1,600 top iOS apps. And recently, we also exited our own iOS app for 7 figures. I cannot say how much, but it was called Boost Up Social, and we started it at the end of 2021. And we recently exited. It took a while, to be honest, a couple of months of legal back and forth and deciding on how to actually transmit all the data, the assets, and do the migration. Because the app was pretty complex. It had 7 tools in one, and so it was not simply a switching a Firebase. So it took a while, but yeah, it's pretty exciting to close the chapter and start this new one with Screensdesign. And it was crazy that up until now, people were sharing around Figma files or of onboardings, and there was not a really good library for those. There was Mobbin, but that's more for designers. And we come from the subscription app space, and we decided it was time to build something like that.
Okay, could you please tell more about like the point where like you decided like what is how you saw it? Like it just should be the collection, and like the first question, what was your vision when you started that? And the second question about like how you build that. Like you mentioned that in our previous conversation, but it's really interesting how you did that.
Yeah. Well, it was not a vision, it was an issue because back in the day, we needed to optimize our onboarding and paywall as much as possible for our previous app, Boost Up Social. And we realized that downloading apps inside the iPhone and checking them, it was really tedious. And once you were onboarded, you could not see the onboarding anymore. And the app, like the iPhone space, is limited. And how could you do it with talking about the ideas? What should we test? Where should we iterate on? And so we started to develop it internally, to be honest with you. It was for ourselves, and it took a year and a half in total of collecting the screens, and then we put on top the search engine, and we're optimizing the site, and pretty useful, to be honest, because Apple's App Store screenshots, you can see them from apple.com, but the onboarding flows, there was nothing. There was a couple of other tools, but they were more gathered towards big banking apps or Nike and things like that. And subscription apps were not yet present in a good library. So we decided to build something like Pinterest for it, where you could go get inspiration, do your testing, iterate, and hopefully get higher conversions and more profits. And the second question was, how did we build it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a mix of our own people. We're a team of 10, and then technology. In order to, you have to do both, and you have to run through a lot of hoops. Clearly, I cannot share the full secret sauce, but I would say it's a mix of technology and the human being.
Okay, yeah. Then the question, like, how did you choose the apps that you want to have in this collection? Like, what
That,
was your
that,
focus?
That's a really good question. And the apps well, by now we have almost 2,000 apps. I would say 1,600, 700, and we're adding 20 new each week. So we have covered most of the main apps that make really good money. You can think about like Duolingo, MyFitnessPal, those apps. And by now, so we have covered, like, we usually do it by either monthly installs or monthly recurring revenue. We do both we do it through both, and by now we're also scavenging some apps that maybe are really well designed, that have something interesting, but maybe they have few downloads or they don't make that much of a monthly recurring revenue. To be honest, like, we have done, I would say, 90% of the job, and now it's a matter of adding and refreshing apps, because every time they change, or maybe then Duolingo does a seasonal offer. And so it's a matter of it's going to be a matter of refreshing and adding the new players that gain some traction and do well. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I have a question about refreshing. Do you plan to add like a history of
That's
onboardings?
already designed. That's a very good question, Igor. We already have started doing it this week. It's very important to
Okay.
do it in order to then show what an app was doing in the past, what are they doing now, how it has changed, how it has evolved. So yes, we're also doing that right now. And then I read another question that is, how is it different from Mobbing? Well, there are three main things I would say. Number one, we do have videos for all the apps. Mobbing has very little videos. For us, we have 1,700 apps, and all of them have the video of the onboarding, the paywall, and the preview of the actual app after you have activated the trial. And Mobbing doesn't have that. They simply show the screens. We have the screens, but we also have the video. Video is important because there are many animations, and looking at the video can be really helpful. Second of all, we have 1,700 apps. Mobbing has, for iOS apps, only 500, 600, I would say, maybe. So it's 3 times as big, the database, and we focus mainly on subscription apps, not on giant apps that do not run through subscriptions. And the third part is that we have enriched our apps with data that is actually useful to boost conversions. So you can think about MRR, installs, revenue per install, number of onboarding steps, hard paywall, soft paywall, flow type. We have also web onboardings, which is a topic where Igor is a master of. So I would say these are the three main things where we offer new value that did not exist in the market until now.
Okay, yeah, and it's great that you mentioned that you were focusing on subscription apps, because
Yeah,
when I was using Mobin and when
yeah,
I wanted to get the references for, I don't know, like paywalls or
yeah,
some upsell flows in
yeah,
Mobin, it's really hard to find this kind of stuff. Well, obviously they have Duolingo, Netflix,
yeah,
but I would say these guys are different, different from what most of the apps are doing,
yeah,
and they are not, I would say, like doing the very best in terms of conversions on the paywalls, because they have huge branding, people buy their product, and there is no that big need to convert the user to buy Netflix comparing to the small application.
Beautiful answer. That's correct. That's 100% correct. And yeah, and there are tools for designers only. And we're speaking to many people who contact us because they realize that their designer are doing a good job doing designing beautiful things. But what was missing was also the conversion part, the attention to growth, to monthly recurring revenue, to install, onboarding steps. And if you count the fact that Mobin also does web and does other things, we focus only on iOS subscription apps. And we have 1,700, and maybe Mobin has 100 subscription apps, 200 subscription apps, because many apps are apps like Zalando, e-commerce apps that have nothing to do with onboarding flow optimization and paywall optimization.
Yeah, and I also like that you have some content here. So like you started interaction with applications, and
Oh yeah,
the other problem that Mobin has, and I stuck multiple times, is that they have a lot of empty states. So like you can get a real sense of how the apps looks like inside when it does have a content. So it's great that you started like to interact with the application and do some stuff
absolutely.
inside that.
Also because that one enriches the search engine. Because then when you hit the search engine and you look for some particular screen, because maybe one part of the app is missing, I don't know, system settings or profile, you
Okay.
simply say, like profile area, and that's why, because then all of the screens get turned into frames, and the frames then are indexed inside the search engine, which is phenomenal.
Okay, timer. Like, did you tag all the screens like by yourself, or you used I don't know, like OpenAI API, something like that,
No,
to tag? Like,
to tag the screens.
yes.
It's a mix. It's a mix of technology and the human being. It's not either one or the other. If you
Okay.
go with it like both, like just the human being would be impossible. But also OpenAI is not enough to just like simply label them like that. No, it's both.
Okay. Okay.
And a year
Nice.
and a half, and a year and a half that we are behind it. So
Okay, yeah, and so there is a separate section, web onboardings, which is focused only
yeah,
on the application that transfer their onboarding from mobile to web. For those who are not aware of what is Web2App, so the idea, well, mobile application, they have few problems. The first problem is that they pay 30% to the App Store, which can be like the wall margin for a lot of businesses. Second, there is a hell with attribution on iOS, scan, scat, ATT, all this stuff. It really makes difficult to do proper marketing. And like performance marketing becomes not really performance marketing because a lot of users are not attributed to real campaigns or creatives. Uh, Next, Apple and Google, they put a lot of restrictions to mobile applications on how their paywall should look like, how they sell their free trial, how they explain their subscription terms. And because of that, applications they stuck on review, and well, basically they get less revenue. So with that, and also one major aspect is that in mobile application with subscriptions, about 70 to 80% of users, they convert on the first paywall after the onboarding before they started to see the actual product. That's why the onboarding and first paywall is like the most important, crucial part of the mobile application. And with those problems, we can just transfer the onboarding to web, and after advertising send the user not to the mobile application but to the web version of this onboarding. And yeah, so that's why web to app funnels are really great for subscription apps, and this market is growing. And yeah, so here we have a really nice collection of web onboardings. And so, well, there are a lot of them, and we would like to talk about what are the secrets behind them. While creating this collection, did you find any kind of like patterns or something in common in those like the biggest funnels or onboardings? Yeah, so like, do you see anything in common in them?
Well, yeah, as you were saying super correctly, it's a fresh new thing. This web onboarding, I would say maybe it's been 1 year or 2 years where the big heavyweights have started to do that. Um, and I would say one thing in common is for sure the fact that they use quizzes, which help in multiple ways. One way is that they personalize the experience. So based on what you select during the quiz, they are gonna give you then a paywall and an experience inside the app that is tailored around you. So what does that mean? It means that the conversion rates will be higher because the more the paywall and the you feel that the app experience is going to be really around you, then you're going to increase the start trial, increase the conversion rate, and then the app is going to become more profitable. Second of all, with quizzes, what they do is they gamify the onboarding experience, right? Because you're not simply watching a 20-minute tutorial, you're actually interacting. It's like a game, it's simple, it's not threatening. And so you feel that you're taking these steps. And then, third of all, you're committed because once you take these steps and you go through, there are some apps that give you 100 onboarding steps with the quizzes, right? Like Noom, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You're then the more you get into it, the more you're committed to actually starting. And so that creates a really powerful element, I would say.
Yeah. Do we have Noom here? Can we find it
Yeah,
somewhere?
sure. Yeah, you can go to explore apps. No, go to the right filters, filter and source.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful. Noom and Noom.
Oh, Noom, 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 Noom. Okay, yeah. So for those who do not know, Noom, they are like one of the biggest players in this market,
Yeah.
and the funnels is like, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe more of different screens. And usually, I have a lot of questions about like how long should be the funnel from like our clients and like prospects. How would you answer this question? How long the funnel should be?
Whatever your conversion, like whatever your total conversion rate and profitability is going to be higher, whatever your dollar amount at the end of your iteration and testing period is going to be higher. There are some apps like Noom. I'm sure they run many tests where 100 onboarding steps work great. There are other apps where probably 10 are enough. I think it's a bad answer to give, but depends is always is oftentimes the right one, right? And now that just depends and try randomly. I would say, like if you have method and vision, or someone like Igor who helps you out, uh, go around and test, iterate on the testing, use Mixpanel, run A/B tests, and do not run A/B tests randomly, but only focus on like uh, two things at a time to test and make sure that it's statistically significant, because it's pointless to test things against like 10 users versus another 10 users. You need to have hundreds of those in order to have a test that is meaningful and where you know that the error rate gets reduced. But there is no simple answer. Of course, what happened, for example, for us, it was that the onboarding steps were maybe 7 or 8. But also it depends on the category, right? Because Noom is
Yeah.
into the fitness space and the nutrition space, and we were into the social media marketing space. Probably if we did 100 steps like Noom, we would have not reaped the outcome as good as we had.
Yeah, like for instance, Prequel is like photo editing app. They have a really simple onboarding, just a few screens, but they have like an animation. Let me find them. Start Prequel.org. So yeah, they add a video here. So for them, like there is no need to ask a lot of questions. Probably they tested it out and they settled on this version. But for the other applications that, for instance, like health and fitness, okay, here AI, a photo and video editor. Okay, interesting. So these guys, they went the other way for the application for photo and video editing. So here they focusing on not just like I would say the casual video editors, but like on the professionals. And
Beautiful.
because
Yeah.
of that, they have what is your goal? Promote your business, become a content creator, become influencer, start monetizing content. This is actually like one of the most important things in web funnels. To sell the product, you have to explain the user how they will achieve their goal, and for that you have to ask about their goal. Like basically with the web funnels, they have to visualize what they will get after using the product. And well, interesting how these two products doing it differently,
Yeah.
completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's a matter of testing to have a good testing framework and achieving statistical significance, while also having a vision. Like, okay, we're prequel, we're gonna do it this way, and maybe I'm gonna test 4 onboarding steps versus 7 onboarding steps, and then decide, and then 7 versus 3, and then decide, and then yeah, it's an
Yeah,
iterative. I cannot. Yeah, I think anyone who tells you, oh, you have to have 50 onboarding steps or 25 onboarding steps or 5 onboarding steps for every single app. I mean,
I agree. It depends. It depends. Okay. Like let's find some other, like for instance this one, like yeah, you have any comments on like why they built it this way, like what they're
sure.
trying here?
Yeah, I'm zooming on your screen right now. So,
Yeah,
start your free week. Let's see.
yeah,
Learn from
one
top.
second.
Yeah, I don't see it fully exact. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Now I see it. Perfect. So speak English clearly and confidently. Top Hollywood accent coaches and artificial intelligence to supercharge your communication. Well, already two things that are really good. You can see number one, the marketing, like the angle, the headline, and the sub headline. I'm just talking about the words that are being used. They're clear and they're compelling, right? So it's
Hmm.
good copy already. Second of all, the design is appealing, right? So it's both of them. Both the design is appealing and both the words that are being used are high converting, I would say. So that's the first thing that strikes me. Second of all, let's see, maybe second screen, speaking, yeah, make progress. As you can see, the titles are really good. Unlimited
Yes.
practice equals unlimited improvement, right? Both the design and both the copy are both great.
Yeah, I love to say that when you build like these quizzes or even a landing page, you have to write the text so the user will get all the understanding about the product just by reading the headers, the
Yeah.
headlines, and not going inside the small text. So here, speak English clearly and confidently. Speak and get instant AI feedback. Learn from top Hollywood accent coaches. Unlimited practice. Make progress in only 10 minutes a day. Really nice copy. Really nice
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah. And it goes back to the famous book, Thinking Fast and Slow, right? There are some users who will scroll really fast and only read the headlines, and those headlines already do the job. And there are those
Yeah.
users who will read both the headline and both the subtext, right? And the web onboarding, the web onboarding works for both those that are in a rush or they don't want to read everything and they simply take a quick glance at the headlines, and both the ones who want to read word by word. It works both ways, and I think it's great. Yeah,
Yeah, nice. And here, okay, they still have they ask for the goal, where you're starting out, so they
yeah,
understand the current situation. You're in the right place. It's really important uh, in the quizzes, like to provide some kind of feedback for the user, so they understand that they are heard,
yeah,
and the application or like the onboarding will listen to their answers and will somehow adapt to them. So that's why that they have here, you're in the right place. Improving your spoken English can boost career success by 16%. Really nice. I like it.
I also saw some reviews, some social proof, some video reviews, which because one thing is to have a review, and then another one, even more powerful, right, is to have a video review. People taking video selfies I saw above of themselves, highly recommending the app. So
Yeah, and here, interesting screen. They ask the user to create their account or leave their email. Usually, we do not recommend to our clients to put this kind of stuff in the funnel. It usually
yeah,
we see like a huge drop off, even like on the simple email screen.
yeah,
Like up to 30 or even 40 persons can drop off on the screen if you do not explain why they have to create this account. So
wow.
like usually we recommend to skip it, but here, okay, well, they decided to do
They're
that.
not
So
perfect. That's the point. That's the
yes,
point.
yes.
That's why I say this is a matter. This is also a library, right? Where you go and you get inspiration. You get a couple of screens, you put them on the Figma, and then you iterate on those. Those are simply insights and test pieces, right? They're not a fundamental truth. In your case, there is a particular path that will work, but you have to discover it by making guesses, taking stuff that piques your interest, and then testing on those.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Let's pull some other stuff. Here, save all photos done right. Also nice. I like that they have this question as a system pop-up. I never
Yeah.
saw it this way. Probably
Progress
will add it
bar
to.
also telling you progress bars also telling you how many steps until completion, right? It makes you say, okay, do this step and I'm one step ahead and I'm closer to the finish line.
Yeah, and for some of our clients, we did some trick with the progress bar that is going faster in the beginning.
Wow.
So the user, yeah, starts clicking on the screens and they see, okay, well, progress bar is going really, really fast, but to the end, the speed lowers. So they, I would say, like spend more time there, but they have like a feeling that it will be like a really 2 minute quiz. Well, not, it will not be like 2 minute quiz. And I
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
somewhere here, have an example, maybe in a handway. Um, Let me find it. Yeah, 2 minute quiz. Speechify. They said like it's 2 minute quiz, but it's not. They
Right,
put it just user think that okay, why not to complete 2 minute
right,
quiz,
right.
and then they stuck like here for 10 minutes or even 15 minutes reading through all the questions. Yeah, nice. And for this one, I really like to like for the web funnels. People usually say that they work really great for health and fitness, or like for entertainment. But there are a lot of cases where it works for utilities as well. So here, like Speechify, text to speech, it's like solution sounds like pretty simple, but it's great that they like focused on those who do not read much. Yeah, let me.
Right,
So yeah, they start here like, have you read the book in the last month? I
right.
really
Yes,
like
no.
that.
Super simple, right? Super simple ask. Yes, no. Gamification.
Yeah, yeah. Here then they do like the social proof, like 30 million people have read the book last month thanks to Speechify. I see a lot of this stuff like 30 million in the quizzes that I know that they don't have 30 millions, but they
Right,
still put it. Well, it's a gray
right,
area.
right.
We will leave it to the developers, but well, it does increase the conversions. Okay, here, like, what is your gender identity? Interesting that, well, how does it relate to the actual product, but
That's
still,
a
yeah.
question. That's also maybe it's a mistake. Never take it because an app makes 3 million a month. That they do everything perfect. There is always room for improvement, and there is always room to for yourself to make estimated guesses and tests.
Yeah, okay. What text do you want to turn into audio? And here, I like the way that like we could either show like we have these features, So with us, with Speechify, you can turn any text, any document to audio, and then we can list all of them. This is one way how to promote the product. The
Yeah.
better way is to ask the user the question, so they start thinking about like, okay, what really do I
Right.
want? And
Right.
by
What they
that
want.
they increasing the value of the product. This
Beautiful. Yeah.
is nice. Where do you keep your documents? And yeah, interesting here also. Okay, they explain Speechify supports 20 integrations. Mr. B, choose from 100 voices. Yeah, this one is good. This one is good.
I would say, yeah. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and here for the progress bars also we see that well, we have progress bars in every quiz, but if the progress bar is just about like loader
Well,
without
yeah.
any additional content, users will drop off here. So you have to put
Mm-hmm.
some stuff like pop-ups or user reviews, something like that. It
Right.
will improve the drop-offs on the screen. Um, yeah, so we have question here. My app is about AI photo generation, and we are seeing a big drop-off right after the first screen, our web funnel, but the conversion rates for the next steps are pretty solid. Any ideas
Yeah.
on how we can?
What are you asking though? What are you asking in the first screen of the web? Like we would need to know to see the screen or know what the screen is. So
Yeah, like if you can send us, we
yeah,
can review
or a
it.
description, at least of what happens there. So we can give you our ideas on why.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, but here, like, there are two ways. Like, in any case, will you send us a link or not? Like, try to play well at first. Like, the first idea is to make the first screen really interactive. You do like AI photo generation, make a video that explains the product. Uh, yeah, here, where is it? Lift. Yeah, or ask what's their goal, or well, so it's great to make an offer on the first screen so they understand why they will complete the funnel. Here the user, they will understand why they need to complete the quiz, like to promote
Right.
business or become a content creator.
Right.
Yeah, so test at least two these options.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through some other funnels, like what will catch your attention, what you would like to discuss.
Well,
Yeah.
better me. It has been in the business since forever. They use this pretty typical, I would say. Many of these apps do it, and yeah, they it's the typical thing
Mhm.
I've seen. Sometimes, sometimes for these apps, they've been in the business also for so long that they really have optimized ads so much. Where if you have your own, and maybe they have like such a strong brand already that people recognize them, that not necessarily you will see the same onboarding flow and conversion rates that they do. So you might want to for sure take inspiration, but also make your bets on doing something different. Um, on doing something different, yeah. But they also focus. If I had to guess, people like they have a clear demographic. Also, if you look from the design, I would say people who are a bit on the older side, women who are a bit on the older side, maybe 35 to 45, 50. They know that they have more disposable income as well.
Uh-huh.
um,
Yeah, and the paywall. So yeah, this part is really crucial on every paywall. You have to show how the life will be different.
yeah.
This before after. Do you have, by the way, like a filter to show all before after paywalls, or like can we
Not
just?
yet. Before after paywalls, you can probably search in the search engine before after, but at the moment we don't have a before after filter. No.
Okay, before after here.
You can filter by the paywalls themselves, just the paywall. But before after, you need to search it on the search engine.
Okay, and where do I go to filter only paywalls?
Go to first of all go to Explore Apps. Uh, Go away from Web Onboardings. Explore Apps.
Uh, where is that?
Left.
Sorry. Here?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Refresh.
Yes.
Very good. Now filter,
Okay.
and then you can go to onboarding steps. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
paywall type,
Paywall type. Okay.
paywall, paywall only.
Paywall only. Okay, so here we will see all the paywalls. And again, we will need to filter only web. Like, do we need to go to web
Um,
onboardings?
no. If you if you wanna see the ones with paywalls only, I'm not sure it's
Yeah.
yet available, but it will be very soon for web
Okay.
onboarding.
Feature
I'm not sure.
request, feature request.
Feature request. You can select online payment, flows
uh,
type,
flow
flows type.
type. Okay, yeah, online payment. I see.
So
Nice, nice.
in these ones, there are all the web onboardings where there is also a payment page as well.
Okay, let's find Spotify. Again, what? Yeah, here, Speechify, they have this before, after, and yeah, so they have it here. Let's check some other. Okay, this one they do not have. Okay, better maybe we just saw it. Headway, they have it this way, like without plan, success plan. So
Beautiful.
they,
Yeah, again, it's very similar to Better Me, like we were watching before, the before after, which has been something working since the beginning of the supplement ads 40, 50 years ago. It is an evergreen, I would say.
yeah, this part I think it's pretty similar to the Headway. Headway has something like that.
I am sure also that a lot of these players
Yeah,
are
yeah,
taking inspiration from one another.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's find some other paywalls. And okay, so here, let's check the muscle booster and talk
Yeah.
about the paywall. Yeah, so here, like the structure of the paywall always, almost always the same for all these kind of applications. We have this timer, which will
Yeah,
be prepared.
timer to put some pressure. Exactly.
Yeah, then before, after, the which is visualizes their life after using the product.
Yeah.
Your personal workout plan. It's really crucial to outline that this plan will be personal for you. Then
Yeah.
we show the prices and get my plan button. This part, like almost the same for all the flows, but and I like to explain it that we, like, the user is already prepared to make a payment. They completed the quiz, then we show them what they will get, we show them the prices, we show them the button to start payment. But if they have some obstacles, if they do not understand something, because of that, we have a way more longer paywalls after that. It's not the same as in mobile application. In mobile application, we have like really short start free trial paywall, and it's better
Yeah.
like to not overcomplicate it. But on the web, the paywall should be really, really longer.
To solve all the doubts.
Yeah. Um, like, do you have any funnel, or like what is your most favorite funnel or application that we should check now?
um, well, one of my very favorite apps is, I would say, Duolingo.
Okay.
Are you talking about web funnels only or any type of funnel?
Whatever, any type of funnel.
Well, many of the interesting apps are the ones. If you go back to Explore apps, go to filter and
Uh-huh.
sort. Filter and sort. You
Fi-
no, Explore.
okay.
Yeah, and then revenue per install below.
Okay, you have revenue per install.
And then you
Wow.
put XXL. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Okay, that is really interesting.
Yeah, you can see apps. Well, MyFitnessPal probably has a very high revenue per install because they don't get many downloads these days. But maybe you
Mhm.
can filter with some fresh apps as well. If you filter them with some fresh apps that have been released in the past 3 years. So, for example, app release date, and maybe you put
Okay,
the last 2 years.
okay.
And then here you will find many apps that do have very interesting situations. Um,
Okay, yeah. Well, I have Pro,
can I
but
can,
yeah,
can I maybe share the screen myself?
yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll share my entire screen. Okay, do you see it?
Yes, 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 yes.
That's beautiful. Okay, so we go to explore apps, and then we filter by revenue per install. Really? Oh, I can actually sort it by revenue per install. Revenue per install.
Okay.
So I can check the apps with the highest revenue per install. With the highest revenue per install. Let me remove this one. And sort revenue per install highest. Yeah, as
It's
you can
great.
see.
It's great that you have this sorting. Really nice.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
sorry, please continue.
Yeah. So, well, if you open any of these apps, you will know that there are many interesting things inside. So let's maybe start with one. Um, okay, so maybe I can zoom. Do you see it well, or should I zoom more or less? Is it good now?
Yeah, 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 it's good now.
So, okay, take a selfie. Well, this is also an app probably for an Asian audience. I would say face like. As you can see, they have Asian people. Huge market, by the way, because I see many apps that make a lot of money that are from China for Chinese people. So that's also one difference and a very good opportunity for someone to then localize and expand there as well, maybe. So what do? Take a selfie and meet a new you. That's also what Photoroom does, if you remember. Maybe they
Mhm.
ask you to immediately take action with the camera. Clearly, this is something that cannot be done probably on web onboarding as easily. Maybe it's still doable in
Yeah,
the
it's still
future.
doable. We have clients who, yeah, so
Yeah,
we can provide this kind of stuff. You can take photos on the web too.
wow. And they immediately tell you you're gonna take a selfie and meet a new you. So they're immediately like delivering the value. They're telling you this is what is gonna happen. Very clear with this design. That's why I say it's both important to have good copy and both important to have good design, because like this one is immediately clear.
Mhm.
Access camera, you take a selfie. Uh, don't do the following. They tell you what not to do. Why do they do that? Because then the haha moment for you is going to be higher, right? Because if you don't do this, then you're going to take this one. If you take this one, you're going to be wowed. If you're going to be wowed, you're going to convert at a higher rate. Do not think necessarily that if they tell you don't do the followings, then the conversion rate will be lower, because they will guide you. It's still a guide. It's a bit like a quiz in a way. They're guiding you
Mhm.
towards taking a better selfie, and then if you take the better selfie, the result is gonna be higher. And then once they give you the result, boom, paywall already, right? Maybe, who knows, they have a delay here. That's why I made the video as well. That's why we had the video, because on Mobbing and platforms like those, you do not see if they play with the X or not with the paywall.
Uh-huh.
Is there gonna be a delay on the X, or is it immediate? So with the video, you will be able to see how they actually do it. um, Weekly 6.99, yearly 34.99. Very big price difference. The yearly is like so cheap that they try to give you that. And here the usual bullet point benefits: no ads, unlimited features, exclusive templates, HD export.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
So in mobile, it's pretty simple, not like on the web. So like really
exactly,
short paywall.
exactly. again, that's why we go back to the concept of if you're on web, probably the things that work um, on the mobile are not the same. So it's gonna be a matter of understanding where you are. So they do not, the axis. Yeah, you can already close it here, as you can see from the
Mhm.
video. Is already there. So yeah, this is one. Let's go back. Invoice to go, easy invoice maker. I was looking at this one. This one was like the number one until now. Probably this app is growing a lot right now, face like, because until a couple of days ago, I remember that Invoice to Go was the biggest app. Oh, let's check it. Well, this is a more of a boring app. The reason why they make so much money is probably because they're either a very big company or they do have business clients, and that's why they do not need so many installs, because a person who has issues with doing the invoices is gonna pay straight away.
Mhm.
And as you can see, this app has, for example, 7,000 installs per month and 1 million monthly revenue,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh, what is their price? Can you go to the paywall?
yeah, sure. I'll do that right now.
It's like a lot.
They probably the paywall. Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay,
it.
so
Hard paywall, and boom. That's something that you have to do. Add
yes,
paywall after 8 screens, right? Crazy.
yeah. So guys, in your mobile application, if you never tried hard paywall, try it. The chances that you will highly increase your revenue will be um, really significant. Okay, yeah, here 12
As you can
minutes
see,
of
like
the
right
video.
away, they do it right away. Boom. And here there is the paywall.
So
They're
they
also
start with the paywall.
yeah, they almost start with the paywall. They give you a couple of screens.
Just couple of screens, registration, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Registration and paywall right away. It's probably a user. That's why I always say it depends. Are you if you do that with a fitness app, it will not work like that, right? But
Mm-hmm.
apps like these that are business oriented, you can still pull it off. Or apps like these, for example, that they show you the result right away. They tell you take a selfie and meet a new you. Boom, you take the selfie, and then there's the paywall already. It's a totally different game. If you go here to web onboardings, indeed, you can see that how on web the funnel is a lot longer because you need to cook. You need to cook, for longer in order to prep your users for a conversion. You need to convince
Yeah,
them that
yeah.
you want.
So the other thing is, if the user in your mobile application, like they already understand where they are, they went to App Store, they saw through the screenshots, they
Yeah,
like invested their megabytes, their time by downloading your application, and then they know how the subscription works. They know that they can cancel the subscription. But with web onboarding they know nothing about that, so you have to really convince them. Like the whole idea of like converting the user by asking the questions and emphasizing the problem and visualizing their future is the same for both mobile and web, but on the web like you have to do way more better and way more complex than in mobile.
yeah, and you're the specialist in that, Igor.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. Let's review one more up, and I
Sure.
think
What do we do? Web
yeah, web
onboarding or
now, web. Yeah,
let's do
and
web?
while we have a question from Ishan. So when an app is using web onboarding, it's check out via external sources like Stripe or something. I'm trying to understand the concept. Yes, basically we transfer the onboarding of a mobile application, including the payment to the web, and we charge the user using Stripe, Apple Pay, PayPal, card. So like there are multiple options how to collect money on the web, and only after that we send the user to the mobile application. So
Yeah,
these how these funnels working.
exactly. You're correct. It works basically with Stripe. It's basically like paying from an e-commerce. If you open Chrome or Safari from mobile and you pay on an e-commerce, it's the same concept. So you do not have to pay the Apple fee and like all the other benefits. You can simmer the user better. You can track much better your performance and know should you spend more money on TikTok or should you spend more money on Meta or on where. Because Apple, puts huge gates to knowing what's working as a traffic source. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you started to show some the web onboarding.
There's also another comment which I agree with you. It's
Okay.
huge. When you look at the video, you realize it's so important. That's why we made all apps with video, because there are so many of these conversion boosters that happen with animations, both on web and both on the apps on mobile themselves. Like when the X should disappear, that's also something worth testing. And trust me, there are many of these heavyweights who have tested their way into knowing what actually works really well. And I encourage every one of you to do the same, to do a lot of tests. So they manage their subscription via Stripe Control Panel, not iCloud. Yeah, it's not iCloud. It's App Store Connect and Stripe Control Panel. Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
like just with Web2App, there are like different ways how to do that. You have like an API, you can build your interface around canceling the subscription in your mobile application, and now we are building our own flow to do the cancellation flows
Yeah.
for the subscription, so you can win back these subscriptions. You can downsell the users. You can pause their subscription if they don't need the application right now, but they may need it in the future. So there are ways how to win the canceled
Win back.
subscriptions. Yeah. So
All the win back. Yeah. Yeah, that's also a big topic, the churn reduction rate. Because if you can get back 5% of the users, that can be a lot of money at the end of the year.
yeah.
So yeah, do you see my screen again?
No, not yet. Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Please one more
Okay.
time. Yeah. And guys, while we are checking the last funnel, please add your questions to the chat. Okay, Alex. Yeah, for a second
Do
we.
do you see the screen?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, let's go. Let's do web onboardings at your request. Let's zoom it a bit because I know that the real estate space is limited on the call. And okay, let's go down. Well, Flow is a giant player, but we already went through it. Let's scroll down a bit. And as you can see, on Web Funnel, another interesting thing is that on Screensdesign, you will be able to see that some apps, they have two different onboarding funnels, right? They're A/B testing that one as well. Like they try multiple things or they use different web funnels for different traffic sources. So that's super interesting. That's something that usually you cannot do on mobile. Um, so better mean, we already did here. Let me scroll down a bit. So this one, the logic on it's the monthly revenue over here. So hello the prayer. Let's do a heart rate monitor, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
It's that exists since 10 years or more, 15 years, and there are some apps that still make an absolute killing off of it. 1 million monthly revenue off of 600,000 installs. And never forget that the monthly revenue is only on App Store. We do not know how much money they make through web funnel because this data is private, right?
Yeah.
It might be another couple millions. All right, so they give you the let's start, so they already gamified, right, with the button in order to keep you engaged. So you click let's start, and that puts your attention there. What's your sex, male or female? Prefer not to say. That's something that, if you remember, Speechify was also doing before, where they
Mhm.
ask you a simple, right, a simple bifurcation where they ask you this or that. And again, they start the gamification and they make your process super easy at the beginning. Progress bar at the top, and you know which app is which app it is, which traffic source you come from, and you see that it's the Impulse app. So also domain name, interesting that they use the .app, so you know that you're actually gonna be onboarded inside an app. What's your age? Then you put your age. What's your weight? Super easy. Again, well, and they start to make you interested in it because they make you freak out about your health, heart health, right? And they tell you, okay, based on this data that you have input, right, 29, 55 kilo, 155 centimeter, this is your risk, right?
Yeah,
And
and I'm sure it's always static. It doesn't change
yeah,
with
yeah,
yeah, because like you didn't put any data that they can use to calculate the actual risk, but you have
yeah,
to um make the user worry about their problem a
yeah.
little bit. It's like a
That's what they do. I'm sure that there
yes.
are some other apps that also track it, but clearly their intention, like, is not to tell you that your risk is low. Their intention is more to either tell you, so not so much, or medium or high, right? So okay, then they tell you that based on this data that they have checked, and like Igor is saying, probably they didn't check it. We know what's right for you. So do you have the high cholesterol? Yes, no, I don't know. And then they started with the quiz, right? Again, second part of the quiz with a single selection. And yeah, as you can see already, you can see the big difference between web onboarding flows again and mobile ones. This is already much longer, right? It's not ultra long, but you can see clearly a difference
Mhm.
in what we have been seeing
And
before.
I like the question that they ask, like, do you drink alcohol? Do you
Yeah,
smoke or have a smoking history? They,
yeah,
I'm sure they ask it not to somehow use in the product, but so the user will start thinking about their like wellness. Okay,
yeah.
I smoke, I do not sleep well. It applies
Booze,
to like
I
to
forgot my
any user.
phone. Yeah, yeah, they do that for sure. And but I mean, might be an helpful might be an helpful app for some people nonetheless. And and I guess many of these people realize, probably even through these apps, that they need to take better control of their sleep, of their smoking habits, and their drinking habits. So it might have an overall positive impact on society. Who knows? Through this app, how many people stopped drinking, even if not directly related. Then they calculate your answers. They're probably pretending also here that they're loading
Yeah,
something.
obviously, yeah, they
Yeah,
are not calculating anything.
yeah, and then they don't want to lose you. That's why they get your email, because they want to have a convert, like a hook point where, in case you fall off, they can still drip you with an email campaign, right? And as you can see, these apps are
Hmm.
still are still using this kind of design. They're gonna tell you how the app is gonna be used, and they're gonna show you. They're also showing you that it's an actual app. I would say over here, that because you did a quiz, you put your data, but maybe you don't realize too well right now that you're also gonna be using an app, right? And they show you to you with the famous Apple hand, right, holding the phone, and then boom, paywall. I knew that it was coming right now. But as you can see, this is already how much? 25 steps? 25 steps? Pretty crazy.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And in the end, they have the paywall.
Yep.
Yeah. Here, get my health plan. And yeah, here they focus on discount. I'd say that like it's a bad pattern because at this point you have to focus on the value that the user will get and not the discount. So you're selling not a discount, you're selling their health, their future,
Yeah.
their happy. elderly their time with their grandkids, but
Beautiful.
they
Yeah.
put a discount here. So it's not that you have to sell actually.
You're
Okay.
completely right. I think the discount has a place. Like if you put it over here, for example, it's only, as you can see, like here, the discount has a place. But I
Uh-huh.
completely 100% agree with you that over here as the headline is devaluing it a bit. I would, and I would encourage them to test them, and the listener to and the listeners to come up with like some sort of framework where the headline should not necessarily be about the discount, but it should be about the benefits and the vision and the angle.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then they even reassure you that there's a money back guarantee. Um,
Yeah, this part you should always put on the paywall on the web, because in mobile application users know how to cancel their subscription. On
right.
web they are not sure how it will work, so you have to put this information. It will increase the conversions, but
Exactly.
then what you do with the refunds, because a lot of applications they put some tricky paragraphs into terms of use where they ask you to provide proofs that you used the application for at least a month. So, well, it's up to you how to do this stuff, how to do cancellations, and like, well, it's a big topic on how to work with the refunds, chargebacks on Stripe.
Yeah.
We will cover that on in other webinars. Okay, yeah. Uh, okay, yeah. So I think we will be finishing for today. Just few more questions from this chat. Book apps make you read one chapter online, and for the rest of the book, you need to download the app. Yes, they are growing with web funnels. We have client like that. So if you want to have something like that, please come to us. We will help you. Then the question is, Revenue Cat just released a report, 30% of annual subs canceled within the first month. How does this compare to churn rates for web subs? Uh, yeah, so the thing is, like, we are in the business less than 1 year. We don't have the number of actual renewals of yearly subscriptions. But what we see for monthly subscriptions and weekly subscriptions, the renewal rate is for the Stripe payments is higher than in mobile. It really depends on the niche, but it's higher, like significantly, at least like 20% higher. That's why web funnels have higher LTV.
One thing that I also want to say that is important, I would say you have to be a bit careful with web funnels and how much you push the ethical boundaries,
Yeah,
because on Apple, you can get 10% refund rate and Apple will still keep you. But if you go to Stripe or other payment providers and you have a 10% chargeback
chargeback
rate,
rate. Yes.
they will close your account. You're not going to be able to build cards. So for sure, churn prevention, like churn reduction and winning back customers, has a place, but make sure it's not the scammy one, because otherwise you're going to pay a higher price. And never forget that then if you have 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, moving them to a new payment provider is going to be hard. And your fees for processing cards, they're going to be hard if you have a high chargeback rate. So there is an optimization line where you want to work on reducing your canceled subscriptions, and you want to reduce your refund rate. But there is also a line where if you push it too much, then you're gonna do the opposite of what you want, actually.
Yeah. So couldn't agree more. So yeah, and guys, we also help you with the chargeback. So, well, to finalize, if you want to build a web funnel, please come to Web2Wave. If you need to find some ideas on the web funnels, then come to Screensdesign. Find the funnel that you want to build, get inspired, then come to us, and we will build it for you on Web2Wave. Okay, Alex, thank you so much. That was a really great
Been my
conversation. I
pleasure.
liked it.
As always, Igor, my pleasure.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's be in touch. And guys, thank you. Have a great day.
Ciao.
Bye.
Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.